Alright YouTube, welcome once again to another Black Ops 4 Zombies Easter egg video. This one's been a long time coming and I'm excited to finally be bringing my full guide to you guys after we've all been stuck on it for quite some time now. The solution is actually pretty straightforward, but I also think it's one that might have took us a while to solve without the recent QA tester leaks. So this is my tutorial for the Viking Boat Easter egg, which actually grants you with a free perk, which is a pretty great reward in my opinion, considering this doesn't require a lot of effort to do. However, you will need some precision, but I'll get to that later in the video. One thing I should mention very quickly that is absolutely necessary for this Easter egg, as you will not be able to do it without it, is that you will need to have Wraith fire grenades equipped on your creator class setup. Now if you don't have these, you get them at rank 34, and if you've prestiged already, then I highly recommend you use your prestige token to have these grenades permanently unlocked, as they're actually really powerful and useful in game, as well as allowing you to do this Easter egg and get yourselves a free perk. So of course the first step for this Easter egg is finding the free offerings for the dead warrior in the longboat. Now I'm sure most of you will be familiar with these locations by now, but for those of you that aren't, I'm going to quickly run through them for you right now. So you're going to be looking for a helmet, a sword and a small mug, and you can find these in the following locations. These locations do not change, they will always be in the same spots during your games. So the sword can be found in the crypt area of the map, just sitting on this little open crypt right here. You can pick it up by holding your interact button, X or square. The mug can be found directly in front of you on the ground just as you exit the bottom of the Ra temple towards the Pack-a-Punch room. And your third and final part, which is the winged helmet, can be found inside the actual Odin Tower itself, just sitting on top of this little weapons rack right by the door here, directly in front of you as you reach the top of the stairs. So once you've acquired these three parts, you will now need to go ahead and place them inside the Viking boat by holding X or square in these three spots. You place the sword into the warrior's hands, the helmet of course on his head, and then the mug actually gets placed in the mouth of the dragon head at the very front of the boat. With these three parts in place, you can now move on to the next step of this Easter egg, which is rather simple in concept but actually can be pretty difficult to replicate. What you're going to need to do is toss your Wraith fire grenade from the Zeus Tower between these two pillars right here and down into the Odin Tower, landing onto the boat. The reason behind this, which I absolutely love by the way, is that you're meant to be simulating, as I mentioned in my previous video, the tradition of firing a burning arrow at the wooden funeral boats to set them alight in Viking folklore. Good job, Treyarch. So this took me a few tries to get right, but you'll know you got it right when the blue flames from the Wraith fire actually end up staying on the boat rather than disappearing and fading away. I don't really have a specific technique or strategy for you guys to follow here on how to do this. However, I will have the gameplay of me landing the grenade perfectly on loop on screen right now, just so you can get the general gist of where exactly to stand and where you should be aiming. I'd say that it seems like I stood almost directly with my character's back to the little skull switch on the wall for the acid trap, and then aimed directly upwards, stopping my crosshairs just near where the ceiling ends, if that makes any sense. But yeah, as I say, this took a few tries for me. I just hope this gameplay helps you guys land the grenade throw too. Moving on with the Easter egg, all that's left for you to do now is wait a bunch of rounds until the free perk drop spawns into the map. Some people have said you have to wait 5 rounds, some have said 6, some have said 7, but I believe in my game I waited 6 rounds, so I guess it just depends. So yeah, you have to wait 5 to 7 rounds for your free perk to spawn in. In the meantime, I recommend you start burning through your challenges if you can, because if you do, upon completing your 7th challenge, you'll actually receive another free perk from the challenge pedestal, as you'll see in the footage. This can give you a great advantage in game if you have 6 perks rather than the standard 4. So as you can see here, after your waiting through the rounds is up, if you head on over to the Viking boat, you will see this really great new drop spawned into the map. I absolutely love the design of this, I just think it looks really cool and unique. Picking this up will grant you a free perk. In my game I got PhD slider, and I'm not entirely sure what all the possible perks could be that you can get from this Easter egg, but I do know that Milo, Mr. Offwaffles, got the new Bandolier perk in his video, and Mr. Dalek JD in his got Winter's Whale, so your free perk can seemingly be completely random. Now that's all as far as we know for the Viking boat Easter egg, but just before I end this video I want to discuss a working theory going around right now that there may actually be even more free perk Easter eggs hidden within the map 9, specifically 3 more, one for each of the 4 temples on the map. That's right, maybe the QA tester didn't spoil absolutely everything for us, and maybe there's a way we can acquire an additional 3 perks on top of the one from the Viking Easter egg and the one from doing our challenges. Perhaps this is just wishful thinking from me once again, but it just seems a bit strange to me to give the Odin Tower specifically a nice little Easter egg like this, and to somewhat disregard the other 3 towers. Granted, you could argue that the Danu Tower has the Circuit's Kiss Easter egg associated with it by draining the sap from the tree, but don't you guys think that the other towers, particularly Ra, are a little neglected when it comes to Easter eggs? So I just want to showcase a few things that could perhaps be associated with this theory, and things that may need investigating in-game. For example, of course, in the Ra temple, we have the huge sarcophagus in the centre of the room on the bottom floor, and it's just so detailed and prominent that it's hard not to want this to be related to an Easter egg somehow. Like, imagine if it was to spawn a drop for us similar to the Viking one you just saw, but in the shape of like an Egyptian mummy, or Tutankhamun, or Anubis, or a Sphinx. How cool would that be? Moving on to the Danu Tower, the only thing I could really pinpoint in this is this odd statue, which we have here, that's basically overgrown with leaves and vines. And then in the Zeus Tower, there's 2 possible things that could be related to this theory, and the first being this water basin right in the centre of the room at the top of the tower. This has always been quite suspicious to me, and I've been kind of holding out on hoping that there was some Easter egg related to this basin, like cleansing some kind of item similar to the slabs in Origins. And of course the other suspicious location being the bloodbath downstairs. Now, there has actually been a leaked minor Easter egg already regarding the bathhouse that no one has managed to perform in game just yet, because honestly the requirements are pretty crazy and the reward is pretty dull. You have to get 830 kills inside this room, and the name of the location in the top left corner will change from bathhouse to bloodbath house. It's basically what everyone calls it anyway, so who cares. So yeah, that's the working theory right now for the map 9. Perhaps this is true and there's a way that we can get 9 perks on this map. That would be insane. But for now, it's back to hunting and finding out new things within this game, because I am convinced there is still more left for us to solve, and I'm not giving up the hunt just yet. Thanks for watching this video, everyone. If you did enjoy and found this helpful or informative in any way, then please be sure to drop a like on the video, or possibly even consider subscribing if you like what you saw here. And as always, please leave your thoughts and suggestions and any new findings you may have in the comments section below. Do you think there's more ways than this to get free perks on the map 9, or am I just going insane with Easter egg hype? This has been Memphis Plays Zombies. I'll see you in the next one.